Hello and welcome along to the Panto podcast. This week I've got a very special guest for you. Her name is Raine. Last year she won the British Pantomime Award for the best animal character. But it was a bit of a different animal character because she signed through the performance. We talk about Charlie's hearing loss, about bringing signing into the theatre, and how she actually enjoys auditions. You can also as well follow Charlie's YouTube channel, the links of which are included on the episode. So please sit back and enjoy the latest Panto podcast. Hello and welcome along to this week's Panto podcast. My guest is Raine. Hello, Charlie.
Hi, you okay?
So I asked you just very briefly then the name, Raine, and you go by two sort of different names. What's the...
Yeah, so my real name is Charlie Martin. But on Equity and Spotlight, there's another actress called Charlie Martin, so I can't have that name. So I say, what do I call myself? My middle name is Raine, which is my grandmother's French surname, but I thought it sounded a bit like the elderly name Raine. So I just chopped the L and kept the Raine. So Charlie Raine.
Charlie Raine.
Yes. Bit of a backstory there.
There we go. It's always nice though to introduce people correctly as well. So.
Of course.
But it does make you wonder as well. You go, Raine? I've not heard that surname much
I know.
before.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an actress, is it Jennifer Raine? She's done a few little BBC dramas. So when I type in like Charlie Raine, she always comes up.
Make sure you're top in Google then.
Exactly, yeah. Got to keep doing more stuff.
So how did you actually get started off then? Was the family a theatrical family or?
Absolutely not, no. I was really shy growing up. I really didn't speak to many people. Like I would go beetroot red if people looked at me in class. And then when I was aged 11, my mum sent me to like a local Amjam club with my sister. And whenever I did things with my sister, like we went to ballet together, she left, I followed. We went to music lessons, she left, I followed. We then went to drama, she left, and I decided to stay. And I think it was the best thing I ever did. I came out of my shell. It took me like 2 years to like start feeling comfortable around people. And yeah, then I just started doing more like extracurricular stuff around drama and music, and then fell in love with it.
What kind of drama things were you finding yourself sort of getting drawn towards?
I remember back at school, it was always like the school musical, or they had such a good like music department, so I was always involved with that, like in little bands, doing Panto, drama lessons every week, just as much as I could while I was still in school.
Was it singing or was it more playing instruments? Can you play anything?
I'm grade 5 piano, but I don't really play it anymore. I did a little bit of singing, but I would never class myself as a singer. I class myself as an actor who can hold a tune.
Did you ever get the lead roles?
Eventually. I mean, I started off as, town crier number 1 and, beggar number 3. And then eventually got more confident and then got more and more roles. But I prefer playing the weird sidekick kind of role as opposed to the main heroine or princess. I think I've got a bit of quirk about me. I like playing character roles as opposed to straight roles.
What kind of people then do you admire?
My favourite actresses are Julie Walters, Imelda Staunton, Emma Thompson, very British, classic, that era women.
With a bit of quirk to them, though.
A bit of quirk, yeah. They can do the larger-than-life characters, but they can also do the really serious and dramatic roles as well. They're my idols.
So from drama lessons, how did it kind of progress into getting that kind of break into the actual theatrical world itself, the pro theatre world?
Yeah, so when I left school, I went to college, did performing arts, and then went to Northumbria University and did more community. I think my parents wanted me, they were very wary of the industry, having not been in it, and that's really hard to get work in this industry. So I went more down a community route, was doing a lot of work in hospices with young children, and then when I finished university, I applied to be a teacher. So got on, did the maths and English course, was ready to go, and then I went down to London and auditioned for drama school to do my master's in theatre for young audiences. So I told my parents, I was like, oh, by the way, I'm going to move to London and do children's theatre. And I think it was the best thing I ever did. I know a lot of people who I did drama with growing up, and they were maybe scared to try it out or like fully commit to it. But my mindset is like, I can do teacher training when I'm like 60 if I want to. I can always go back to it. But I think while I'm young, I've got no responsibilities, it seems like the best time to try it out, because I'll always regret it if I didn't. So yeah, I went to Rose Bruford, got my master's, and then started auditioning for things, doing shows. And it's a hard industry. I think being a white female in your 20s, there's the most of us but the least amount of roles. And I think until I came out about sign language, I found it harder to get roles, whereas now I've kind of got a niche and work seems to be coming through a lot more, which is good.
How then did the hearing loss come about?
So I started losing my hearing when I was 2. I think I got an ear infection and it just got progressively worse. I remember as a child having glue ear a lot and then having a lot of operations. I was in and out of hospital, like getting T-tubes and grommets in and out of my ear and trying to find a balance of what worked, but it just got progressively worse. And I was told when I was 13 that I needed a hearing aid, but I was so in denial that I said no. And then when I was 19, I finally accepted, like, I'm losing my hearing. So I got a hearing aid, but never really used it. And so now I'm deaf in my right ear. I've got the tiniest bit of hearing in my left ear, but it's obviously getting worse as I get older. So I function mainly as a lip reader, and I started learning sign language about 3 years ago. Yeah, just by myself. Yeah.
How do you learn sign language then by yourself?
I think because I hadn't told people, only like my parents and a select few friends knew about this. I didn't want to commit to it fully, so I was just like watching YouTube videos, trying to like copy them, what they're doing. Also using like the online sign language dictionary, just typing in words and like just learning it by myself, and would just practice in front of my mirror and like get better and better. And I only actually started doing classes this year. I did my level 1 earlier this year. I did my level 2 last week, and then I start level 3 in January, so I'm only committed to it fully this year.
Did it cause them many problems when you were a child watching theatre as well? Did you trying to lip read off of actors quite a way away?
Theatre not so much, but often with TV, you know, they do all these dramatic shots where they're like panning out. I'm like, I can't lip read that. So I do use subtitles quite a bit when I'm watching TV, but theatre not so much. I think when the acoustics are good and if they've got good diction, that helps.
And now you've started to bring that into performances as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Like I said, I've always specialised in children's theatre, and I love doing sign language. I absolutely love it. And even there's a bit of a conflict around sign-supported English and BSL. They're quite different. When I'm performing, I tend to use sign-supported English because BSL is a different language, it's a different sentence structure, and I think a hearing audience wouldn't understand it. And often when I'm signing, I'm speaking at the same time, so I've got to sign along with what I'm saying. And then you find audience members are picking up signs that they're seeing me like repeating throughout the show. So I think that's a good thing, in my opinion.
Do you find the children are using it a lot more as well now?
I think nowadays, yeah, we've got, you know, Mr. Tumbles, Magic Hands. It's a lot more accessible, and some schools have started teaching it. And there's more commercial things like baby sign classes that parents are going to with their kids. So yeah, I find children are using it a lot more, which I think is a good thing.
And to bring it into performance then, how did that come about with yourself?
I'm trying to think what my first signing role was. I have a YouTube channel where I was performing songs on there in sign, and people were seeing that more and more, so then I just got more sign work. And then when the Customs House approached me, originally that character was meant to be a breakdancing role. I can't breakdance. And I knew it was like a mascot role. So I messaged the producer, Natasha, and was like, I've done skin work before, but I can't breakdance. I didn't think I was going to hear back. And then a month later, she was like, we've decided to change the role slightly and we want you to do it, but sign language. So I was like, okay. And they've never done it before, so I think I got quite a lot of playing around with the character and saying what needs to happen. Because originally when I got the script, my character didn't really have any lines. I don't think she was in Act 2, or she was there but not speaking. So I think I got quite a bit of creative input into how the character should be, to be like politically correct and accessible for both a hearing audience and a non-hearing audience. It needs to work for both in this show.
What was the reaction like then?
Oh, it was gorgeous. I loved it. I fell in love with playing Cutlet. She's so larger than life, and I made her more... She was like cute and sassy at the same time, so the kids loved her and the parents loved her when she'll be doing a cute little song, but then she'll be like rapping and twerking. So I loved her so much. And the audience seemed to. I did a song and taught them sign language, and they were signing along with me. So I think looking out and seeing that was so beautiful. Seeing like grandparents and little kids and middle-aged people all just like signing along was so lovely to watch.
Do you think we need to see more of this in theatre?
Absolutely. I think it's become a lot more common nowadays. There's some great accessible theatre out there, but I would like to see it more in mainstream. I think a lot of shows that have like captions, audio descriptions, sign language are for people who require it, which is great, but it would be good to see it more in mainstream shows. And it is happening. There's one at the Globe recently, or National Theatre, and I think people are more enjoying it nowadays. So yeah, that's my mission, to like make it more accessible.
Did you go and see many pantos as a child then?
I did. I was part of, the Rainbows, Brownies, Guides. So every year we went to see a pantomime at our local theatre, which was the Royalty Theatre in Sunderland. A little Amjam theatre, it's gorgeous. And I went to that one every single year. I remember seeing the Sunderland Empire one a few times. I remember seeing, I think it was Snow White and Ant and Dec were in it. So that was a particular one that stands out because I used to love Ant and Dec. And then I started doing pantomimes when I was like 11 or 12 and fell in love with it. I think you've either got it or you don't. Like, Panto is such a niche art form. And I think growing up with it really helped me fall in love with it.
What was it that kind of you fell in love with most?
It's just got everything. You've got the storytelling element that captures the audience, you've got the love interest, you've got the comedy like slop scenes, you've got the baddie, like it just builds so much excitement as a child. I loved it. I remember just watching it in this little Royalty Theatre that seats like 120 people or something, and I felt like I was watching it at the Palladium. Like, I was just so engrossed in the story, and I think all the lighting and everything helped. And just the atmosphere that Panto creates is so... Oh, I love it.
What was your first role in Panto then?
Oh, that's a good question. I did Babes in the Wood when I was 11. And I think I just played a villager. I played a deer in one scene. So I had like a deer mask made for me. That was my first Panto role. Just a chorus. And then I think the next year I was like villager number 6 or something. A few years later then I got like Cinderella. And I played princesses for quite a while. But I prefer being like a sheep or a skunk. Like, I prefer being the funny sidekick.
Could you see yourself being a female comic?
Me? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm that. I don't know if I'm funny. Like,
I've seen you perform, and I think you've got a lot of potential there.
Thanks. I don't know. I don't know if I'm too open. Like, I'd get on stage, like, if I was a stand-up and just be like sharing my life, and I don't know.
I mean, in pantomime, a more comic role for yourself.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. My dream Panto role is Tinkerbell. I would love to, like, skate, sign, sing, act. Like, that's the dream.
Can you skate?
No, but I'm enthusiastic. Yeah, that's my dream role. Tinkerbell. I'd learn. Give us a month, I'll be like pro. I'll be spinning and everything.
Has the hearing loss ever affected yourself when you've been in a situation in theatre?
I think yes, in short. I am such a muscle memory actor. I do the exact same performance every show because I think every audience deserves to see the same show. I've worked with actors who get bored and will change things up, add things, which I understand, but equally I don't. So that throws me because I learn everybody's lines because of my hearing loss. So if there's times when I'm not facing them on stage, I know like what is happening. So then when actors add things in or change things or forget a line, I'm a bit like, like it just messes with me. It's good that I know everyone's lines because then I can like save the show if something happens. Equally with singing, if it's like when I sing, I can't hear anything else around me. So I'm like, am I in time? Am I in key? Has the backing track even started, or the band? So yeah, it does affect me, and I don't think people realise how much it does affect me because I just kind of get on with it. I don't complain, I just do it. I just work that extra bit harder to catch up with everyone else. And
the directors, are they quite understanding as well with it all?
Now that I'm more open about it, yeah. I think I used to just like nod along, like, yeah, I heard what you said, didn't hear what you said. Then I'm like, what did you say? But no, now I'm just like, I need to work in a specific way, not in a diva way, just in a disabled way, I guess. So yeah, I just try and be as open as I can about it nowadays.
And the singing then, when you're performing with a band or when you're performing with a backing track, how do you actually sort of get your cues?
Hopefully the track will have an introduction, which I can hear if it's loud enough. If I'm singing by myself, that makes me a bit nervous. If I'm singing with other people, I lip read them. I used to be part of like a gospel choir, and I would just like follow their lip patterns and like always stand next to someone in my like singing group, just so I know that I was like with everybody. Yeah, I find my way through it. Like, there's people worse off than me. Like, you know.
You seem a little bit hesitant to say you're a good singer then, but you've been in gospel. What else have you been singing then over the years?
So as part of that gospel choir, I was like back in Singapore, the X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, The Voice.
Whoa.
I know.
Oh, so you don't class yourself really as a singer, but you can obviously sing.
I mean, I'm just very British. I'm very humble. I can hold a tune. Yeah. Oh, I loved those days of going into the X Factor. I remember the first year I did it in 2015, we would like send our headshots through and they would like choose who they wanted. And that year it was all about diversity. So they wanted the redhead next to someone Chinese, next to someone black, next to someone with blonde hair. Like just everyone looked different. So I think having red hair really helped because I was used every week, whereas some of my friends weren't. The next year was more of a ethnic choir look they were going for, so I didn't get used once, which is fair. And now I just get like the odd call of like, we want you for The Voice this week, or are you free that week? And it's fun. It's a nice day out, you know, in the studio.
When you were a child then, were you singing much?
No, not really. When I was a teenager, I would only sing if I had the house to myself. Like if my parents and my sister were out, I would sing then. But I've always been really shy about singing. So for a while I was just like a shower singer or house to myself singer. And it was only like a few years ago when I started like being like, actually I quite enjoy this. I want to like show this skill off a bit more. I used to just get really nervous about singing. My throat would just like close up in auditions. I was like, oh, I smashed that back at home and now I can't even like hit that note. Whereas now I'm a bit more like chill about it.
What was the turning point then for you?
I think going to auditions and getting rejected helps in a way. I used to go into auditions like a nervous wreck, being like, I need this role, even if I didn't particularly care about the project, but I was like, I need to work, my rent depends on this role. And now I'm a bit more like, if they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. I'm just going to show what I can do. I'm a bit more playful, and I quite enjoy auditions now. I didn't used to. I used to just put on so much pressure on myself, and I'd be a bag of nerves. And I think I'm now just a bit more confident with it. And often with casting, it's got nothing to do with your talent. It's like, do you look right against the male lead we've already cast, or something about your height, or nowadays how many Instagram followers you've got. Like, if it's between you and someone who's equally as talented as you, they'll just check your Instagram like, oh, well, she seems like this person, so let's cast her, which is a shame. But
Have you been in situations like that before?
me personally, not that particular instance, but I've got friends who have. I've never been in a Instagram off, thankfully. I haven't really auditioned in about two or 3 years now. Yeah.
What kind of styles do you like singing then?
I guess musical theatre pop, that's my vibe. I'm not really a rock screamo operatic girl. Just, yeah, a bit of pop, bit of musical theatre.
Find yourself on the karaoke?
No.
No.
Never.
Oh
No, it's like my worst nightmare. I can sing in character on stage, but singing as Charlie, I can't do it. It makes me so nervous. I think being a character, I'm quite shy in real life, and I think being a character actor is fine, because I'm like, oh, I'm singing as that character, but to put all the attention on me personally makes me a bit uncomfortable.
So a solo performer, not going to happen.
Unless I was a character.
Of
No.
course.
But it was like Charlie Raine, I was like, oh,
Doesn't
not my bag. No,
really tick the box for you. No.
not really.
Do you find the character skin does help you a lot as well with that whole confidence and getting over the nerves?
Absolutely. I used to, do you know the metronomes?
Yes.
I used to be one of them for about 5 years. And then sometimes I was like the understudy, like lead. I was so much more comfortable being in the skin than being the lead. I'm a lot more mischievous. I think my my true self comes out, and I'm a bit naughty, a bit mischievous. So I love being skin. So I did that. Then I've done like Iggle Piggle, Upsy Daisy, and now I get to do it at the Customs House, where I get to wear prosthetics and these huge characters and be as playful and energetic and larger than life as I want, and I absolutely love it.
Can you get away as well with a lot more as a skin, do you think?
Absolutely.
You don't get told off, no?
Because you look cute, do you know what I mean? If, the princess character started, like, I don't know, stealing sweets from people, you should get like, oh, the princess shouldn't do that. Whereas if it's me, it's fine. I can steal children's sweets.
Were you a naughty kid then at school? Or mischievous, shall I say, rather than naughty?
I was very coy. So my nickname in nursery was Foxer, because they were like, she knows she's cute and she can get away with a lot of stuff. And I think I'm still a bit like that. Like in school, I was always the one like giggling and laughing, but I never got told off because I had like a good reputation. Whereas me and my friends were like just as like naughty. Yeah, I think I'm still a little bit like that. I'm a bit coy.
And you bring a lot of that into the roles, I take it.
Yeah. My true self comes out as soon as I'm in skin.
How exciting then was it to actually win the award last year?
Oh my days. I'll be honest, I didn't know the Panto Awards were a thing. So halfway through the run, the cast were like, oh, the judges are in tonight. I was like, what for? Like, what? And like, oh, it's this Panto Award. Like, they go and see every Panto up and down the country. It's a big deal. I was like, oh, cool. And then one night in February, I just finished rehearsals. I was on my way home, and my phone just started going wild. And it was they weren't saying what had happened. They were just like, Charlie, oh my God, this is amazing. And I was like, what's happened? And my friend Annie, who was beauty in our Panto, sent me a video of like Al Murray announcing like Charlie Raine from Customs House. I was like, oh, wow, this is great. And then I started like researching what the event is. I was like, oh my God, like this is like actually a big deal. So went along. I didn't research any of the other people who were in my category because I was like, I don't want to put pressure on myself. I'm just going to go, enjoy the night. And I wanted to be early in the night so I could relax. But I was first. And having never been to this event, I didn't know the protocol. I didn't know how long I had to speak. So I just like rushed through my speech. It was like less than a minute. And it was just a whirlwind. I was a bit like, I wish I was like, my category was like second, so I could like see what was done. Because I didn't know what to expect. And then I got off stage, someone like grabbed me by the arm, put me in front of a camera, and was like, how do you feel? I was like, great. I just couldn't like function what had just happened. It was so much of a whirlwind. And then I was sat for the rest of the night watching everyone else. It was got time to relax.
How was it though when your name was read out?
It felt like, do you know when you're going to faint? Well, I felt like the blood rush to like my head, and my heart was like so fast. And I was like, what's my speech? What do I say? I did prepare a speech, not in a like I'm going to win way, but in a if I get on stage and don't know what I'm saying, I'll panic. And also I was like signing along, so I kind of needed to practice that. It was just a blur. I just remember everyone like standing up and like around me, and I was like, It went in like slow motion and fast at the same time. It was such an epic moment. I don't think it's going to get any better for me. Like, I think I've peaked.
Were Mum and Dad there?
No. Again, they didn't really know much about the Panto Awards. So I don't think they understood this is a big deal. So then I texted them, like, I won by the way. And they're like, oh, amazing. Like, yeah, they were buzzing for me. Yeah, and they're supportive of what I do. Like the best supporters they could ever be. But they're not like in the theatre scene.
Bit of a foreign world to them.
Yeah.
Do they come and see you perform?
Yeah, they do. Like every show I've done since I was like 11, even when I had like one line, like hooray, they would be there watching it. Yeah, they came to see Panto. I'll get them tickets for this year as well. They love it.
Does it make you feel a bit different when you're performing and you know Mum and Dad are in the audience?
Yes. Not anymore, like, not so much now, because they've seen me perform for like the last 16 years or whatever. So it's nice when I know my parents are in. I get more nervous about other people. Like if a boyfriend or a boyfriend's parents come, that's my like most like, yeah, that's when I'm most nervous. Because I'm like, oh, I need to be a good suitor. Like
a suitor? I haven't heard that word in years. What kind of shows then do you like to go and see out of pantomime?
I love a good musical theatre. I do. I really do. Book of Mormon, Matilda, classic musical theatre. Yeah, I love seeing Fringe stuff as well. I spent bit of time at the Camden Fringe, Edinburgh Fringe. I like going seeing up and coming stuff. I also love things like vocal, like a cappella-y groups. I saw a show that I think it was called Gobsmacked, and it was like a vocal, it was essentially like Glee on stage, and I loved it. Like, I hope it comes back. I want to see it again.
Any chance we could ever see you at the Fringe perform?
If you were there 2014, yes.
Really? What were you doing?
I was in a musical called The Windroad Boys. That was it. I was meant to perform 2013, but I had to drop out with that show because it clashed with other things, and financially, it wasn't great back then. I would love to do Fringe again. It was such a good experience. It's such a good atmosphere as well.
I could see you taking Cutlet or a Skin to the Fringe.
You think?
It would go down a storm. The children would love that, and the families would.
Oh, I'd love that. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Ray, if you're listening, you need to make this happen.
Thanks, Ray.
No, I think that'd be a great idea. Get you along to the Fringe, family shows.
I really wanted Cutlet to have a little series. Do you know what I mean? Teach sign language to kids. But then I just started doing it as myself. I think Cutlet up close is quite scary. Like, when on stage, it's adorable. But if a camera's in your face and you've got all the prosthetics, and quite scary to look at.
With YouTube then, you said you've got your own channel as well.
Yes.
What's that about?
It's called BSL Charlie. Does what it says on the tin. Like I said, I did a Beyonce song, and then I just started doing BSL songs and basic tutorials. Now, I took a good year off it, but now I've come back and I'm teaching level 1 online, so I'm breaking it down for people who want, or maybe they're BSL curious, they don't know if they want to learn, so they can test
BSL curious,
yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
They can test before they do a course, or maybe they can't commit to courses, and maybe they don't want a qualification, so they're just learning the skills, maybe for work or somebody that they know. So yeah, I'm just trying to give it back for free, because they can be expensive, these courses. If you can't find a local school or college that does it for free, or you can't commit being a freelancer, it can be very pricey. So I like to break it down online, and then do the occasional song, the occasional Q&A, just trying to build a little community of people who are all learning together. So I encourage them to talk to one another, motivate each other to learn.
Do you think it should be part of the curriculum?
Yes, I do. I really do. Or at least a choice. Even if it's an after-school activity for now. But I think some schools have started adding it in the curricula for a certain age. But I don't think it goes all the way up. I don't know. I haven't researched, so I can't really give facts on that.
I've just never understood it, though, when you learn French at school and things like this.
Spanish, Latin, German.
Have you ever used it out of school? I haven't, really.
No, I didn't choose to take it. GCSE level, it wasn't my forte, languages.
You're more likely to come across somebody who's hard of hearing than you are a French person.
Yeah.
So has sign language helped you much apart from in the industry?
I think it's given me a bit more confidence and has made me accept my hearing loss. I think the support that I've received since coming out with my hearing loss journey, it's actually gave me the motivation and the confidence to pursue and learn BSL, whereas before I was in such denial about losing my hearing, didn't want to accept it, just didn't even acknowledge it, didn't talk about it. It was only since trying to make BSL cool and accessible for people and having people come on board with that I've been a bit confident about it, I would say.
there's less stigma these days as well, isn't there, with any disability?
Totally. Yeah, I think it's becoming more... It's not a taboo thing anymore. You'll see disabled presenters, actors, everywhere. Diversity in all ranges, I think, is becoming more... I don't know, what's the word?
It's more normalised, isn't it, really, without using the word normal. But
Yeah.
It's accepted now, and it's
Yeah.
it's the norm.
Which it is anyway. So I think not showing it on TV is, I don't know, dehumanising it in a way, which is, well, like, we don't want to see that. It's like, why not? Like, why not? That's my opinion anyway.
What then are your kind of life achievement goals?
Oh,
You're a young person and you've got
Thank
a
you.
heck of a long way ahead of you. Kind of dream roles or achievements you'd still like to accomplish?
my dream is CBeebies. I want to be a CBeebies presenter. That is my dream role. Always has been, always will be. That's it. Like, that's my vision. Just CBeebies. So I'm moving to Manchester in January. I've got no job to go to, but I'm just gonna bang on their door till they give me a job, basically.
You're a very confident person. Were you always like that?
No. I think it's only really came out in the last 2 years. I don't know. Kind of got a new, like, energy. And a bit more, I don't know, a bit more independent. And a go-getter attitude, which I didn't used to have at all. I used to be so underconfident and shy. And now I'm a bit more, this is me. Yeah.
What do you think the turning point was?
Oh. I got to a point in 2018 where I was just like, I want to make some changes in my life. Career-wise, personal life, I was like, I want to change a lot of things. So I just did. And started applying for other jobs outside of acting. When I was a full-time actor, I wasn't really happy. I was accepting every role that came in because I felt lucky enough to be offered a role, even if I didn't want to do that role. And I was touring maybe about 8 months of the year. And it just got a bit much, like living out of a suitcase for all that time, and yet paying London rent, which is pricey. And I was like, I've got other interests I want to pursue, but I think you're seen as like, oh, she's given up, or she's failing. And I'm like, well, no, I've just got other things that I'm interested in doing. So, yeah, I took 6 months away from acting and started doing other things like PA work, working in television as like researcher runner. And I feel a lot more balanced now. And now if a role comes to me that I'm like, oh, I want to do that, I'll do it. And if it's a role I'm not keen on doing, I won't do it. I feel, yeah, like I said, balanced and a lot more happy nowadays.
A lot more in control as well.
Yeah, I really do. Which I think is so important. I used to be that hungry actor who would be like, I'll do that. Even if you don't pay me well, I'll do it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, it only gets you so far, and I felt like I wasn't gaining anything from it, not even happiness, like, from it. So I think I've just started prioritizing my happiness in the last few years. And it seems to be working.
You mentioned there about the hungry actor kind of. Do you think the industry preys on a lot of people with their eagerness and keenness?
I think it preys on them and exploits it quite a bit. Especially fresh out of drama school, when you're like, I just need to get some credits on my CV. And you're like, oh, cool, you're not going to pay me? Yeah, I'll do that. And you're like, you're working like a full day, you're working however many hours, and they'll pay for your bus ride. Do you know what I mean? It's not... really, I don't know, you need to start knowing your own value. And I think once you do, that comes out, not in an egotistical way, never that way. My motto is to be confident enough to know you can do the job, but humble enough to know that someone else can do it better than you. That's what I live by, I guess.
Yeah, I do get this humble vibe with you about the whole singing, and it's refreshing to hear from somebody so young as well.
Oh, thank you.
To be fair, purely for the fact that I've heard you sing, and you're a very good singer. I've seen you perform, and you're very good at performing, and it's just that having that little bit of self-belief in yourself to be able to go, right, yes, I can, but without being big-headed, and it's a refreshing, lovely quality to see.
Oh, thank you. I think knowing your strengths and weaknesses help. And I think when I'll put my finger in any box, I don't know what that phrase is, but I'll do anything. I was stretching myself too thin, and I was like, I'm so not right for that role, but I was like applying for it just to do something, whereas now I'm very, not selective, but I know what I want to perform and what I don't want to perform.
What then, you mentioned just then, what are your weaknesses?
I mean...
Or things you want to improve?
I'm not the best dancer. I'm an enthusiastic dancer, but I've got no technique. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll put my all into it and give a really energetic performance, but technically it might not be right. Do you know what I mean?
But if you're in a skin character, they don't need to, do they?
I would love to get better at singing. I do enjoy it. I think I can be improved in every way. I'm still learning my skills. I want to get better at sign language. I want to be a better performer. I want to improve in so many ways in life, like not even just on stage. I think improving performance skills is important, but equally so's skills outside of performing. I think sometimes you get so engrossed in it and you neglect other aspects of your life, like your friendships, your whatever else is going on in your life, and I think it's so important just to have that balance, in my opinion.
What's in your process you said you read the script and you're learning everybody's lines. What's your process for that? And how long does it take you?
I have always learnt in front of a mirror. I learn my signs in front of a mirror. I've always sat down. I think it's because I've got a photographic memory, so I can see the script and when the page needs turning in my head, and I can always see me doing it. Don't know why, that's just how I've always learned. And I learn everyone else's lines. I don't sit in front of the mirror saying their lines, but I always just have to know everyone's. And then I'm such a muscle memory girl. I learn by doing. So I'll have the script I'm one of those quick learners where I can do it twice with the script in my hand and then I know it's in my brain. I just pick up really fast. So I will never be off book on the first day. I need to have a script, do it 2 or 3 times, and then the book comes down, then I can just do it, and then that's it. Until we do little tweaks, and then we get more comfortable and build up a chemistry and the routine of the scene. And then I just keep it consistent throughout.
And how long roughly are you sort of holding that script for?
I like to be off book on the second day.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of Panto performers listening to this thinking, you jammy devil.
But then with sign, it's hard. I text the producer of this one. I was like, when can we know what songs we're doing, what the script is? Just because I have to then translate it into sign, and I can't sign with the script in my hand. So I like to know as early as possible what I'm doing, and then I just put in the extra work in the night because I can't deliver my performance if I've got something in my hands. So I do try and learn that as quickly as possible, even if I'm like doing the gist of the line, and then I'll like pick it up eventually. I like to be booped down as soon as possible, just so I can like get fluid with it all.
What about other cast members? Have you tried teaching them sign language as well?
Yeah, last year I was doing like Cutlets Challenge of the Week, where I would put up like the alphabet and like learn how to sign your name. I do this video every Christmas where I try and get as many people signing as possible. I pick a Christmas song and then I give everyone like a line. And I think the first year it was like 137 people, and then last year it was like 240 something. Just new people all signing. And it's wholesome, it's a lovely concept, and people learn a bit of sign. So it's a nice little idea.
Extra skill to have as well.
Yeah. The signing or the video?
No, the signing. It's
yeah.
It's a great skill to have for people.
I think if people just knew basic, how are you? Do you need help? It would just break down that communication barrier. I know of a few deaf friends, like when they go into, if I'm with them, we go into a restaurant, they see that they're deaf, they'll just talk to me instead and just like ignore the deaf person, and I've never felt comfortable with that. So I think if people in like hospitality, instead of just like pointing at the menu, being like, you want that, if they just learned like, oh, what drink, or the toilets are that way, or how are you, or have a nice day, just basic 10 phrases. If everyone learned like 10 phrases, it would really help just progress this whole community, I guess.
What's your character this year then?
I'm playing... Am I Sniffy or Whiffy? I think I'm Sniffy. Sniffy? I'm Sniffy the skunk. Sorry, there's two of us, and I can't remember which one I am. I'm Sniffy the skunk. Yeah.
A skunk? That's going to be interesting.
I know. I don't remember seeing a skunk in... Is there a skunk in Snow White? There is.
There is, yes.
He twirls his tail and with the
It's
cobwebs.
been years since I've seen
Oh,
the traditional Snow White, the animated.
Oh, I loved it. That was my favourite as a child.
I only watched it the other year for the first time.
What?
Sorry,
it's such a classic.
Seen it in Panto loads, but
Oh yeah, of course. The bit where the turtle falls down the stairs.
Yep.
My mum had to keep rewinding it because I would like hysterically laugh. They're like falling down the stairs. So yeah, me and Luke Madison are skunks this year.
Are you going to teach him any signing to go alongside you?
I don't know. I was a bit like, am I signing this year? Like that we're like a duo, because I don't know what the dynamic will be like if I'm signing, he's not. And so I was like, do you want me to sign? Like, I don't have to. But I don't think they can introduce it one year, then like take it out the next year. So I think I'm signing.
People will want to see it.
Yeah.
Especially after the award.
Yeah, you would expect. Yeah, they said I am signing, but I don't
being
know.
the world's greatest fire eater, and then all of a sudden,
No fire this year.
Fire, no.
So yeah, I don't know what our dynamics relationship is going to be, if we're like brother sister, if we're husband wife. I'll find out next Wednesday when I get the script.
Do you get excited then about the prospect of going back into Panto?
I am so excited. I'm so excited. It's with my best friends. I get to be at home, like stay at my family house for the next 2 months. I just love everybody in that cast. It is a family. They get the same people back every year, pretty much. I absolutely love it. It's like my favourite time of year. I'm so excited.
Do you listen to podcasts yourself much?
I do. I've only recently shagged, married, annoyed. You know, Chris Ramsey and Rosie Ramsey. Fern Cotton's, she does one called like Happy. It's got like Stephen Fry on, Dawn French, classics. I listen to like Happy Mum, Happy Baby. I don't have a baby, I don't want a baby, but you know, it's a nice little podcast. I only recently got into them. Yeah, because I can't like listen to them on like tubes because I can't hear what's going on, so I've got to be like have it on like while I'm like doing something. So Yeah.
Do you find you do that a lot of the time then? You've got to have things, you can't use headphones or things like that.
I can use headphones. Like, I couldn't go to the gym and like not listen to like my sick beats.
Just don't sing along to them.
Yeah. But yeah, if I'm like on the tube's so noisy, like you can't hear anything other than just like. So trying to listen to a mindfulness podcast doesn't help in that atmosphere.
What do you do then when you go back home after the Panto performances?
Sleep normally. You know, you get some people like, let's go to the pub every night. I'm like, no. I take it so not seriously. I do actually. If we're doing, especially when there's school performance, if you're doing like 3 shows a day, I rest. I go home, have a bath or shower, sleep, get up early, steam, vocal warm up. I take it like it's my job. I don't drink when I'm performing. Like, maybe I'm a bit too serious.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I try and be as good as I can. And then as soon as it's finished, I'm like, where's the gin? Like, you know.
Would you ever consider writing then?
Maybe, I don't know. Whenever I go to auditions, I always write my own monologues because I always just think I say my words best. So yeah, whenever I do any audition, if I have the option to like prepare a speech, I will always write my own. I've done bits of like songwriting, like very not much. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I've got the patience.
I just think with the whole connection you have with children,
and
also your own kind of funny, bubbly, childlike, in the nicest possible way,
that's fine.
Kind of connection you have with them.
Yeah.
Maybe writing and going down that route as well might be.
I would love to, but I would love to collaborate with someone. I work best when I'm like bouncing off other people's energy and like more of a creative process as opposed to me just sat at a table writing. If I had like one person to like collab with, that would be great. But to do by myself, I don't know, I think I'm like my worst enemy. I'm like, that's not good enough, that needs to change. And if you keep sharpening your pencils, you're never going to do the drawing. Do you know what I mean?
Nicely put.
Thank you. I wish I'd stayed with art. I used to love drawing. And when I was getting to my GCSEs, I wanted to do like art, drama, music as my choices. And I was like, oh, shouldn't you do something a bit academic like geography? So I did music, drama, geography. Got a D in geography. I was like, should have done art. I think everyone's just different learners. Do you know what I mean? I'm not book smart, but I think I'm quite wise and common sense. And I'm creative. So classes where I was making stuff, or I felt more, I excelled at that. But chemistry, science, I was like, I was really, in school, I used to hide like scripts in my textbook because I just wasn't interested in, I'm very stubborn. If I like something, I will go like 110% at it. If I don't, I just won't do it. I've always been that way. So yeah, in the classes I didn't like, I would have my textbooks there. My scripts hidden in textbook, and I was learning lines for like after school drama and making like character profiles at the back of my book. I was so switched on to drama.
And you didn't get in trouble, and you didn't get...
No, I was quiet. Like, I was so quiet. They just let me just get on with... I was writing, so they just didn't know what I was writing.
Well, this leads me on to my very last question.
Oh, okay.
Your dream pantomime. You can be in it. You can be in the stalls watching it. You choose the production. And you can choose a theatre as well. And the cast, alive or dead.
Okay. I mean, like I said earlier, my dream role is Tinkerbell, but I'm not going to choose Peter Pan. But I'm just putting that out there for next year, you know. I think I would go back to the first theatre I saw Panto in, the Little Royalty Theatre in Sunderland. It's for like nostalgic reasons. I'm going to do Cinderella because I think it's a classic. It's got everything, it ticks all the boxes. I would want Julie Walters as the fairy godmother, because I don't need to explain that. Ugly Stepsisters. Maybe Ant and Dec. I don't know if they would do it, but this is...
Not in Sunderland, they wouldn't. Not again.
Oh, no. Okay. It's all right. I'll play my coy, and I'll be, oh, please do it. Like, Cinderella. I would want Leah Michele from Glee. I just love her voice and her as a performer. Buttons. I don't know. Oh, who do I have? Like, do I go with someone I fancy, like Andrew Scott, or like... I don't think he would do it. Maybe he would be like this evil stepmother. I don't know if he's done Dame. I don't think he's ever done Dame before, but first time. I think he would be good, you know. You know, Andrew Scott, what's he in? Sherlock.
Yes.
Yeah. Who else is there?
So, well, we need a Buttons. You've got to have a Buttons.
Ah,
So
you do.
need a funny man. It doesn't have to be a man, but ideally a funny person. Can't have a boring Buttons. I've seen a couple over the years, mine, but not naming any names.
Yeah, we'll save that for later.
I'll
Turn the mics off. You know, like every actor like goes out your head. Who would I have as Buttons?
We'll come back to it in a bit if you want.
I don't know who else is. Dandini.
See, I think Chris Ramsey would make a great Buttons.
He would. He would. Let's do that.
So who would be your Buttons?
Chris Ramsey. I'm going to just choose him.
Just round the corner from you then.
Yeah. Yeah. Just knocking his door. Like, here, got a
Yes.
proposition. I'd want Rosie in it as well, because she's a hoot. Do I ditch Julie Walters? Nah. No offence, Rosie. You're great, but Julie Walters.
How would you want Julie Walters to play it, though?
Oh, she's just so motherly. Not like Mrs. Overall. Like, not...
not a daft.
No.
Not a daft one.
Maybe.
You could work with her on that, couldn't you?
Yeah. Character development. I'll teach Julie Walters, you know. I'm like, babes, this is how you do it.
Could you actually get into directing, do you think?
I've done it a bit, yeah. A little bit. Back in the day. I directed... Do you know Nice Swan?
No.
They're like in Newcastle. I don't think they're around anymore. I directed their Panto a few years ago. Yeah. I put on an event called the F Word where... I've totally tangented, I'm so sorry. It's not even relevant.
It's fine.
It's called the F Word. It was in that 6 months I was like, I'm changing my life, I'm doing different things. I decided to put on a festival. And there's this female group on Facebook called Bossy. All female, all creatives, all like driven, like-minded, ambitious people. I just put on like, I want to do something, I want to make something. Does anyone want to do anything? And got about 600 responses. I was like,
Wow.
oh, I've actually got to do this now. It wasn't just one night being like, nah, let's do something. So I set up like auditions, led like this all-female choir, and it was just a festival where there was like burlesque artists, spoken word, people putting on like segments of plays, all female writers, directors, creatives just all coming together for this one night to like showcase female and non-binary artists and give them a platform to like network and meet each other. It was really cool. I'd love to do it again. Maybe in future I'll bring the F Word back.
Can't say any F words on this.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Well, some people have in the past, and
Not
I
me.
haven't- Not you. No, you're very, very, very nicely spoken. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for taking part in the
Oh,
Panto podcast.
thank you. Thanks for having me.